let's get to the next iteration. In the previous iteration, when the project was building, I went to philosophical trail about trunk-based development, about the clean main branch, that all of the pushes have to come from pull requests, which are guarded with automated checks, and that we should be possible to release at any moment of time just by triggering the release from the latest commit from the main branch. Good stuff, inspiring stuff. But what about this project? I created two pull requests and I immediately merged them. No checks. The release process? What release process? So my mouth says one words, my hands do another things. Let's fix it. Before I start, I can say that I received the feedback that I waste a lot of time by creating some code from scratch by manually typing, while in the real world we never do this, such as workflow actions or Gradle configurations. Usually we copy already existing successful configuration from previous projects in order to avoid wasting time. And that's why today I've created the Scratch with some useful code snippets in order to speed up this session. Okay, so what are the quality checks? I think there are many of them and you can go crazy. But for now, I will focus on three things: code style consistency, basic check for code smells, and try to prevent regression, and there is nothing better than unit testing. For code style, we're going to use ktlint. There are other tools like ktformat by Meta, but we're going to use ktlint and detekt for code smells. First thing first, let's move it to the right and update our version catalog. We add plugins, then we kind of register in a root Gradle file. It's not really registering, but if we're not applying, then not much thing happen. But at least the version would be and configuration the same for all of the sub projects, and some additional tuning. Let's go over the tuning. Kotlin Multiplatform framework, Compose framework, some other like DI Dagger frameworks, they generate a lot of source code during the build process, and we are not interested to validate that. That's why everything from build folder is excluded. Also, for detekt, we tell that additional configuration can be found in this file. For ktlint, this file is editorconfig. I don't think that there is a correct standard for the formatting. I think that there should be a standard. And all of the team members should follow it. Let's create the detekt YAML. The latest stable version of a detekt doesn't really support multi-platform and compose out of the box. They're working on the next version 2.0.0, but it's still in alpha stage, so we are not using it. They have the page with all of the recommendations, and this configuration follows those recommendations. Oh, okay, doc. The plugins are added. Let's make sure that Gradle picks them up successfully. I think all the red stuff should go away right now. and it did. Let's see how it looks like from task perspective. We see a lot of detect tasks, and I think somewhere in formatting there is KT format. So both are there. For unit tests, test debug unit test. This is what we're going to use. Failed. What failed? In the previous session, we've created the Android application from scratch, but then we removed all the template configuration, and that configuration contained JUnit that we never added back. Also, let's remove the integration tests. UI, no, not something we are interested right now. Cool. Test implementation lips JUnit. Let's synchronize, make sure that we have all of the dependency. Again, I'm expecting this red stuff to go away. Cool. Let's run it again. And it's green. The next one would go the ktlint, Gradle ktlint format. Here, I'm expecting some things to fail. Let's see what failed. That's easy. This is wildcard, and we just add the correct. Then this one. This is created by the template. I'm not fixing it right now. Let's run it again. Something else failed. Oh, I think that's similar. Okay, let's see. Some files. Let's run it one more time. Okay, some file has changed. What's next? Detect. Let's check that actually ktlint check. Why? I don't know, maybe let's just reset some. Usually the format should fix all of the issues. Because the file was, and more files have changed. Yeah, you see guys, it's a real development process. I don't have anything in my sleeves. If things fails, we need to fix it. It's good that we are capable to recover from failures. Ktlint checks. No, it should be green. Yeah, yes, no, yes. Got stuck a little bit. And it's green. Great. And the last one, detect. Let's look. A lot of experimental things. I think we are interested in a common main detect metadata. It was so fast. Did it do anything? Compose, build, report, detect, MD. Yeah, it checked it just as project is that small. It's actually really good that we're introducing these tools at early stages, so for now they work extremely fast. Let's commit. add ktlint and detekt plugins, but to the feature branch. CI checks. We talked about it, that the name of the branch can be different. So like I'm explicitly showing that whatever it's for me, it will live for 10 minutes. That's it. Okay, now we want these checks to be triggered automatically once we created the pull request. Let's briefly go over it. When we create the pull request targeting main branch, and when we push to main, just in case, it's always good, we set up Gradle and run the same commands that we ran a few moments ago. Now, with respect of release, we already have a pipeline that on every push to main deploys to production. I'm a little bit hesitant with this kind of approach. I would like to be pushed in production only when we want. So there should be still some manual trigger. And usually it's a creation of a tag. Like when I create a tag version 100, I want to go to production. But still I want to have a continuous integration. So I want to deploy somewhere. I want to deploy to some kind of test or acceptance environment. You might say, we don't have any test or acceptance environment, and you would be right. So let's create it. Rundler, pages, project. We already did this, so we know the JUFK test. Branch name, main. We still want to deploy from main. Okay, we've created the project for the test environment. So now let's create the template out of existing pipeline, so it doesn't deploy not only to prod but also to test. Workflows, file, create, move it to the left side, and copy thing. So what it does, the trigger is another workflow, and it requires to supply one parameter, which is Cloudflare project name, whether it's JUFK test or prod. Everything else is the same as it was, except one thing. Instead of hard coding the project name, now we use the value from the incoming parameter. This one is not needed anymore. So let's create a new pipeline, web deploy to test. You see how nice and concise it is. What it does, that every push to main you trigger it, and whenever we want manually, it will use the template that we just created. We will ask it to deploy to test, and it's important thing to share a secret because it still needs to pass the API token and account ID. Now let's create the release. What is this? Now it's being triggered every time we create the release tag, which starts with letter V, like V100. It does the same. It tries to deploy now to production, and the same shares the secret. And once it's done successfully, we create the GitHub release. Add new pipelines. Yeah, I'm using the word pipelines because at work I work with Azure. CI/CD process. Whew. Okay, I'm expecting now new workflow to be triggered automatically. Magic happens. Let's see what it does. It sets up Gradle, ktlint. Now you see the work that we did in the previous iteration. We are having some benefits. It restores some cache that we ran before, and that's why all of the next task should be lightning fast. I do not need to dive into philosophy again, at least I hope so. I will not pray. I'm an engineer. Build successful for ktlint, build successful for detekt, and build successful for tests. We can close it, squash, and merge. Now I'm expecting that automatically, the CI that we created just in case, and also the new pipeline that we created, deploy to test. We forgot to do one thing. It will not take 6 minutes, it will take faster, but still it will take some time. Let's see. Oh, our test. What would be the domain? I wanted test just use lovely kotlin.com. So I want a nice domain for me. Okay, I need to add something, cname to this content. I hope it will not take. In the meantime, let me go the settings here at the record. Cname and cname here, test here, and ls data is here. I hope this is what they ask and it will work. Close, initializing. At least there will be another domain that we can check. Okay, what happened? It's deployed. Let's give it some time. So test domain will exist. Now the most important thing, finally, let's create the release. Create a new release, select the tag, create new tag, version 100, create, publish the release, actions. You see that created the trigger, and now we are deploying to production, and the next job is waiting until this one is deployed. But in the meantime, let's check if this one works. Woohoo! We have the test environment. And let's wait. We don't need to do anything. We just have to praise ourselves that we did a great job. And that would be it for today. So we now have the professional CI quality checks. It ensures consistent formatting. The detekt should catch potential code smells, and the unit test prevent regression. Now it's only up to us to create more tests to make sure that our checks are strict enough. Also, we can break our test environments the whole day. The real users would use the production environment, and that one would be stable. So we deployed and now triggered the release of a GitHub. Let's look at it and enjoy. We have the first release. There is nothing yet. It will evolve, but it's already nice. Let's look at our code as its new habit. Beautiful.